Yes, hello everyone. Welcome to the Dynasty Hot Seat, the only Dynasty show out there that is a certified inferno. We got a couple of videos for you on how to draft a win now team. This one, the first of the week, is how to do it from the start of the draft. If you want to catch up on the rest and make sure you don't miss any, make sure you're hitting that like and that subscribe button. Click on that bell too. Yeah, we're on the march to 700. Let's get there in the next few weeks. So if you've been here before, make sure you help out by hitting subscribe. Hey, it's goddamn free. What are you waiting for, right? So speaking of what I'm waiting for, let's get started right here. I'm going to start things off. It's a win now team. That's what I'm focused on. I'm taking Josh Allen. Even though I'm a big Kansas City Chiefs fan, Josh Allen's been the king of quarterback one for the last couple of years. Cannot deny it. So give me Josh Allen specifically for this win now build. You can see here the roster. Construction, we're looking at 2 running backs, 3 wide receivers, tight end. This is no premium, 2 flexes, and a super flex spot. So in my head, I'm thinking if I want to win now, I'm going to have to make sure that I get this wide receiver room in particular really locked in. And one of the ultimate win now moves is going ahead and taking a guy like Tyreek Hill. Not got a lot of time left in the league, but the time he's got left, he's going to absolutely erupt like he has done his entire career. So I'm delighted to pair up Tyreek Hill and Josh Allen. Ultimate start to win now. I can see Dak Prescott is on the board as well. I'm delighted taking Dak Prescott as my quarterback too. He's the ultimate quarterback too. He's the guy that realistically you can get as your second quarterback a lot of the times, and you're super happy to see it. So I'm really happy to lock him in there. Now, in terms of filling up the rest of the roster, I can see a couple of nice names up here, like Brandon Ayuk is up there. Rome Odunze is a slightly younger prospect. Does not quite fit our win now criteria. Devon Achane is a super interesting name, though. But I do think we can get some older veteran running backs a little bit later that will help us with that. So let's go ahead and let's take a super safe guy who I think will help us win now. I'm going to go actually, give me Michael Pittman Jr., a guy I really, really like. I think he'll slot in there, be super safe in that wide receiver spot. You can see him paying attention to the roster construction. If I only had to fill up 2 wide receivers, I maybe wouldn't have gone with Pittman there. But because it's 3, it is super important to get locked in. We are not going to be able to win now unless we have some pretty dominant wide receivers locked in. So I want to make sure we've got that. Here on the board, we still have that option with Zay Flowers, but I can see a supreme value, the guy that's a screaming value in Dynasty right now. Maybe the biggest value. Mark Andrews locked in as our tight end. Super happy with that. On the board, we have some running backs, but I'm going to be tempted to let that slip a little bit because I want to lock in a third super important piece, which is another wide receiver here. I know I just picked Andrews. I am still tempted by a guy like Zay Flowers here as well. I know it is the double dip on Baltimore, but those are the guys that are going to be getting most of the targets there. Is Xavier Worthy tempting from Kansas City? Yeah, for sure. Are some of these guys down here tempting? In fact, man, give me Debo here, actually. I'm going to go a little bit off ADP. I'm going to take Debo Samuel because, again, I'm thinking win now, win now, win now. How can I make sure that I dominate this league this year? And Debo gives me a better chance of doing that. Look at that wide receiver room, ladies and gentlemen. Tyreek Hill, Michael Pittman Jr., and Debo Samuel. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? That is amazing. Remember, we've also got Josh Allen and Dak Prescott. And by the way, Mark Andrews in there too. We are loving life right now, especially because we can take Alvin Kamara as our running back one. And tempting to go ahead and take a guy like Trey Benson, but he does not fit the mold. Do we want to go ahead and get a third quarterback? Maybe not quite yet because there's guys like Javonte Williams still on the board here. Guys that I really like Evan Ingram, who can easily come in to that flex spot too that we could pick up. Am I going to risk waiting on a second running back, or do we want to lock one in now? Terry McLaurin is there as well, who is a super safe option at wide receiver, and Christian Kirk, who I actually like over all these guys. I actually prefer Christian Kirk over all of these guys on the board, maybe barring the quarterbacks, but I'm going to risk it. I'm going to wait. Give me Christian Kirk here as a super safe guy to come in. We know that we have to start 3 wide receivers, so getting a guy like Kirk who can slot in for Hill or Pittman or Debo if they get injured, especially with a guy like Debo and his injury records, right? I'm super pleased getting up Kirk. I'm not too happy about that little run and running backs there. We did take a bit of a risk to wait and see who will come back to us. We might have a slightly ugly running back 2 here, but what we do is we'll just blitz through running backs to make sure that we get a good one. I see the screaming value here. Maybe my most drafted player this year, Chris Godwin. I can't say no to the value there. Guy moving back into the slot. Just absolutely love that for Chris Godwin. Cannot wait to see what he's going to be able to do back in the slot. We do have quarterback options up here with Deshaun Watson. That is tempting to me as well. Will Levis, Matthew Stafford. I think I might be able to wait on Matt Stafford actually. So let's see if we can wait another round for Matt Stafford and keep absolutely hammering the value here in this wide receiver room, because again, the running backs not quite fallen to me yet. Not quite pleased with the value here. So let's keep hammering these wide receivers. Christian Watson at Green Bay, for my money, the most valuable player at Green Bay in that wide receiver room whenever he's fit and whenever he's healthy. It's just keeping him fit and healthy. But I'm willing to risk it for this build. It is risky anyway. So why not just double down as we see more running backs? Zach Moss. Zach Moss was someone I did want to come back to me. Not going to lie. He was someone I wanted to see. Matthew Stafford, we see here. He's still available on the board. He's quite a nice pick here at our quarterback 3. So I'm delighted to lock up Stafford. Not really worrying then. How about quarterback moving forward? Man, let's get... Do we go and pull the trigger on a guy like Jalen Wright here or Raheem Mostert? That is tricky. We are a little bit light on running back. So what we might do now is we've kind of built a nice basis here. I think we hammer running back now pretty solidly. And I'm going to start. We are in win now. Man, I do like Jalen Wright. Am I happy with him as my running back too? Is there any other guys that I can pick up later and plug in? Zeke is a guy that you can plug in. But there's not too much else. Tell you what, let's go ahead and take Raheem Mostert, who we know is going to play. Nah, I'm never going to take Jalen Wright over Raheem Mostert, am I? That's a stupid thing to do. Even in the win now build, I'd take Jalen Wright over Raheem Mostert every single time. I'm going to take Jalen Wright, and we're hopefully going to come in later, and we're just going to hammer this running back position now. Hopefully, that's not the idea everybody else has too, and we'll get a little bit more value, and we can slot in. Again, remember, in Dynasty, I'm making trades here. I'm picking up running backs. I'm looking at the teams who are in, as Zeke goes, that would have been a nice one, who are in a productive struggle, and I'm trying to trade with them. I'm trying to get that running back value wherever I can. Look for teams that are light in wide receiver, light at tight end or other positions, and trying to get all the value I can. Take a punt on J.K. Dobbins. Why the hell not, right? We could double up and also get Kimani Vidal, but we are kind of risking there that you know, we might have both duds there, which is a slight shame. So, man, running back room, I'm not happy with. Not going to lie, ladies and gentlemen, that has been a bit tricky building this running back room. So, do we just go ahead and take a Rashid Shaheed here? Because I think he might be the best value. I think he is. I can't take Kimani Vidal over a guy like Shaheed, so I'm not going to do it, even though I am needing a running back. That doesn't mean I need to get that in the draft. I can get that elsewhere as well. So I'm not going to panic. I'm not going to go ahead and do things that I wouldn't normally do just because I need to get a running back, like take Raheem Mostert over Jalen Wright, something I would never do. Just because I'm in this build doesn't mean I'm going to go drastically away from where it is. Let's have a look. Who's available? Curtis Samuel, Tucker Kraft, Jalen McMillan, a nice piece as well. Michael Mayer, Mooney, Bateman. Yeah, we don't have a huge amount of options here. Guy like Wan'Dale Robinson is interesting. Greg Dulcich, again, I do like Greg Dulcich this year. I think he's being slept on a little bit. Hunter Henry there as well. Super safe guy to put in. Man. No screaming, huge value. Curtis Samuel at Buffalo could be an interesting one. We have picked up Josh Allen, so if Curtis Samuel starts to go off, I suppose that might be good for us. Let's have a look how we ended up then. We have finished in our win now build. Let me know in the comments, what would you have done differently? Here's our win now team. Do you think this could win a championship? Josh Allen, Alvin Kamara, Jalen Wright, Tyreek Hill, Michael Pittman Jr., Deebo Samuel, Mark Andrews, Christian Kirk, Chris Godwin, Dak Prescott. Then we have Watson, Stafford, Dobbins, Rashid Shaheed, and Curtis Samuel sitting on the bench. We missed out on a second running back. Someone like a Joe Mixon would have been nice, but he was gone by the time we took our RB1. So it just never quite fell. The value never quite fell that nicely. But would there be something that you would do a little bit differently? Let me know in the comments. And stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen, to see how you build a win now team from the middle of the pack. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. See you soon. Bye.